Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. Remember when the PDP governors, as a result of the poor handling of the economy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, warned that Nigeria is heading towards Venezuela. Venezuela is a Latin American country and it's a basket case. It is also a country that is riddled with corruption like Nigeria. It is also a country that depends on crude oil like Nigeria. They are having runaway inflation in Venezuela. And Venezuela, you can't get many things in the supermarket unless you go to the black market. And the APC administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they got offended that PDP governors had the temerity to remind them that they are heading towards Venezuela. Now Obasanjo has hit President Bola Ahmed Tinubu below the belt. He has mocked the president, indeed, by telling the president not to go and learn from Venezuela, but rather he should go and learn from Zimbabwe. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has advised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to go to Zimbabwe to learn for solution to the current all-time high inflation rate in the country. And he said that he noted that since Zimbabwe was recently confronted with the same problem of high inflation and came out of it, the South African country will provide useful information and advice for Tinubu. Unless people don't understand what's going on. Because it is like your father telling you to go and learn from an Olodo. Because the situation in Zimbabwe is worse than in Nigeria. So what is there to learn from Zimbabwe? Now let us look at the records to see that Obasanjo was really mocking them for their inability to handle the situation in the country. Now, in the latest release of National Bureau of Statistics, the inflation rate in Nigeria is 29.9%. That is roughly 30%. Approximately 30%. Now the country, this our country, Nigeria, is already grappling with high cost of living, with pockets of protests in several parts of the country, leading to breaking of warehouses, stopping trailers along the road and cutting away food stuff in various parts of the country. The only part of the country in Nigeria now that is really not participating in that kind of thing is in southern Nigeria, especially in the southeast Nigeria. So there's literally a breakdown of law and order because people cannot cope with the level of inflation in the country and the scarcity of available foodstuff, which had skyrocketed the prices of everything, every foodstuff. Despite the lie that Nigeria has enough food, that is just people are smuggling it out. No, Nigeria is facing food scarcity, as was predicted by Food and Agriculture Organization last year that it will happen this year in Nigeria. Now, before I digress, the inflation rate in Nigeria is 30%. Now, what is the inflation rate in Zimbabwe? The inflation rate in Zimbabwe as at January. The inflation rate in Zimbabwe as at January was 34.8%. That's by January 2024. The inflation rate in Zimbabwe was 34.8%. You can see that inflation rate in Zimbabwe is higher than in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we're talking about 30%. That is if you are to believe the NBC. But I don't trust Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, because I believe that many things coming out from all these institutions are propaganda meant to please the government of the day. So the real inflation rate in Nigeria is believed to be over 50%. But let us go by the record, because we are talking about the available record. So January inflation rate in Zimbabwe is 34.8%. And that was up from 26.5% in December 2023. Now, while President Obasanjo former President Obasanjo is advising Tinubu to go to Zimbabwe to go and learn how to bring down the rate of inflation, Obasanjo, I'm sure, must have seen the latest inflation rate in Zimbabwe, their February inflation rate, as was reported by the Bloomberg 5 days ago. The inflation rate in Zimbabwe today is 48%. And the inflation rate in Nigeria today, if we have to believe the NBS, is 30%, approximately. And this is Zimbabwe that Obasanjo is advising Tinubu to go and learn how to bring down inflation. Now you ask yourself, between the president of Zimbabwe that's sitting atop 48% inflation and Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is on 30% inflation rate, who should go to each other to go and learn? But I know what Obasanjo is doing. Obasanjo is mocking them. Because if not this is mocking them, why should he say go to Zimbabwe to learn? When Zimbabwe case is worse. And in fact, Zimbabwe and Venezuela are among the basket case that people who are knowledgeable are advising Bola Ahmed Tinubu not to follow that route. But it appears that Nigeria is following that Zimbabwe and Venezuela route. I think what Obasanjo is pointing at, I see it as a satire. He's really mocking them, telling them, look, you are heading towards Zimbabwe. Look at Zimbabwe and learn. Do not be like Zimbabwe. Do not be like Zimbabwe. That is the mockery I see in it. I hope they get the logic and do the right thing, because Zimbabwe and Venezuela is not the place for Nigerian economy to be. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.